Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second edition of the all-new Team Venom podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by my co-host,
Dave Burston.
And live via telephone, we've got a special guest from Exposure Entertainment, Mr. Nigel Flemming. Nigel, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're good, boys. How's it going?
Cool.
Very good, thanks.
Yeah, very good.
Awesome.
So last week, we've had loads of positive feedback from last week's podcast. And the only negative we've got is we started trying to talk about something and just forgot. And, one of the topics we tried to bring up was the Survivor Series, and we kind of went off on a random tangent, and it was never addressed. So
a week later, we're going for
so 1 week later, we're going to offer our predictions and things like that. So, firstly, the main thing with Survivor Series is it's celebrating 25 years of The Undertaker, and in the build-up to it, I'm expecting to see like a few recreations of classic Taker moments. And what do you think of The Undertaker being in the WWE for 25 years, Nigel?
Yeah, what a career. Wow. I mean, he's done it all. There's not much more that you can sort of say that he hasn't done, so legend, definitely. I like what they're doing with him at the moment, though, the way they're bringing him back into relevance. I mean, he had a massive break, didn't he? Sort of like a year, then come back for one, and then another year. So it sort of had, even though he's got this whole legacy, if you like, it's hard to sort of keep your momentum going. And they quite easily brought him back in and rekindled the Bray Wyatt thing, which I thought they killed at WrestleMania, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, the Undertaker Wyatt feud, as you say, WrestleMania, it didn't seem to leave much room for following up, did it really? But it's good, as you say, it's nice that they're rekindling it and bringing him into prominence and stuff. And did you catch this week's Raw at all?
I caught highlights. I don't follow Raw on a week-to-week basis. I ain't got time. But yeah, I caught the highlights. It was the promo. Wow. Yeah. Wyatt's good at these promos. I do like the Wyatt family.
He has been very consistent since he's going. I mean, he's every time I've seen a Wyatt family feud, Bray has pretty much carried it.
Microphone.
Every time, yeah. And the main rumour is that, it looks very obvious that we're going to get the Wyatt family versus Team Taker.
In a classic Survivor Series matchup.
Yeah, so
that's going to be fun.
It is, and so far we know, we can pretty much guess it's going to be Taker and Kane because of Wyatt's promo and them carrying off Taker and Kane.
And Kane.
Yeah, then 2 nights in a row, and apparently taking the energy from their souls and stuff, like he was saying on Raw. Who do you guys see as rounding out Team Undertaker?
Madge. Let's go first.
Okay.
Yeah, I think really, I think Mankind's going to make some sort of comeback. If I'm honest, I think it's the most logical choice. I mean, he's bound to have one more match in him, and it's a Survivor Series match. I mean, if Bret Hart can do it, then he probably can do it.
Yeah. Well, plus you've got the thing of, obviously, if you're celebrating 25 years of Taker, Foley's a big part of his history.
Yeah, very much so, going off the Hell in the Cell.
Oh yeah, which recently WWE announced that one of the number one moments of all time was the time Undertaker tossed off Mick Foley on top of the from the top of the cell.
Yeah, what a tweet.
But apparently that's normal over there.
Yes, just a play on words for them. I was thinking what they might do is bring forward another one of the NXT and Finn Balor with his demon persona to fit in well with the Undertaker and Kane and the Ministry of Darkness type thing.
Yeah, could work. Definitely could work.
Especially if they're going for the whole sapping demonic powers off them and things like that, they could turn up on NXT and try and do it to Balor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you think that the whole, the difference between NXT and Raw, I think, is more that NXT is aimed at a more adult fan base? Does that make sense when I say that?
Yeah, it kind of caters to like the ROH sort of generation of fans, and when you want to watch purely technical stuff and not as storyline driven television.
I think that was
it's good.
John Cena.
Yeah, no John Cena.
Censored bands, not as PG, if you like.
Yeah, I just don't think. I don't know whether to fit in with the whole, because he comes out with his paint and his gimmick, but he doesn't sort of portray this, I've got demonic powers, and there's not a character as such, if you like. Whereas Undertaker, Kane, they've got these big characters, these same as Mankind, they've got big characters that they can bring out. Whereas Finn, I don't know if he'd fit. I mean, it'd be cool, it'd be awesome to see, but I don't know if he'd fit.
I was just thinking it might give Finn that push
to try and give him
the main event, squeeze him in there that way.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna sort of kill off the Wyatts that easy though, by letting Taker and Kane come back and just win the Survivor Series match?
Oh no, but I don't see the specific match at Survivor Series harming them. I mean, Bray Wyatt's had quite a few losses to, like, say, Roman Reigns
and
recently, Dean Ambrose. It's never actually
and John Cena.
It's never derailed his momentum.
Yeah, but 2 losses to the Undertaker could be a completely different story.
I suppose, but the other thing is, if he puts in a good showing like WrestleMania, it was one of those things where it was cool to see a new guy like Bray hanging with the dead man, sort of thing. So there's still the automatic rub of him just working with the Undertaker. So it just depends on where WWE want him to go, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Freddie Prinze Jr. has got his decent writing pens out that week.
This is it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We just mentioned Reigns and Ambrose. The other match that's been announced for Survivor Series, in fact the only match that's been announced for Survivor Series, is Reigns challenging for Seth Rollins' WWE title. Who do you see that going to, Nigel?
I'd like to see Rollins keep the belt. I just like everything he's doing.
I can see him keeping the belt because I can see the WWE wanting to take away CM Punk's longest reign.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they've got the right guy in there at the moment to do that. He's liked and hated in equal measure.
And he's young enough that he's got a whole career ahead of him in WWE as well.
Very much so.
Exactly. I think it's too soon to stick the belt, or too soon or too late. It depends how you look at it with Reigns. Do you think they've missed the ball with that already?
I don't think they've missed the ball. I think they've been waiting for the fans to
build accept
him. And
yeah, but he's pretty much done a Blutista, hasn't he? You know, they brought him out, and the fans just didn't take to him again. So.
Yeah, so on Raw this Monday, they actually cheered when he won for a change. We've got the number one contender. The crowd actually was behind him, and hopefully this could be the start of a good push for him.
So I'm hoping that we see Ambrose turn on Reigns as a result of the title match. You know, have Dean Ambrose run out, join the Authority, save the title for Rollins, and then we end up eventually finally getting the Shield triple threat match that everyone's been hungering for the last 2 years since the breakup.
Be interesting,
because that could be a good WrestleMania main event.
Definitely.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, definitely. Do you think Triple H is going to try and take that from Seth?
Well, there's that as well. We could see. I know it's rumoured that Triple H might be facing Rollins at Mania. If Triple H can't get The Rock, apparently. I think that's what I'd read somewhere, that if The Rock doesn't wrestle at Mania, the backup plan is for Triple H to go after the title and Rollins. Which, either way, it's a good use of a WrestleMania match. So, yeah.
Plenty of WrestleMania moments to be had there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, I think Triple H might be a little bit, it's sort of hang your boots up now. Move over, let the guys come out and run as they should do. You know, the new guys should be given the run, if you like.
Yeah. I think he's starting to get his own influence with letting the newer guys, because there was a lot of newer guys that won on Hell in a Cell. I think he's starting to push them, like the New Day. They brought the Dudley Boys back, but the Dudley Boys have not got over with New Day yet. They've not beat them in the last 3 pay-per-views.
Yeah. Which is quite surprising, because they were hot shot in the tag titles here, there and everywhere for the few months prior to Dudley Boys returning. So I was quite surprised to see that they went, actually, we're going to stick with the New Day on this one and see where it goes. And New
Well,
Day.
I quite like them. I mean,
They are enjoyable.
I watched the quick segment they were doing a tag match with Seth Rollins and the three of them in the ring doing air guitar to his music.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, their gimmick is awesome. I do love it. New Day just booty, as they say. Awesome.
Well, one of the things that we usually like to cover on the podcast is, because obviously we're based in the UK, as obviously you know, and you weren't more than aware of, we like to cover British wrestling and what other British wrestling news we've got at the time. And one of the big things that happened this week is an event that we irritatingly couldn't make it to. But Walkabout hosted its first ever St Mary's Street Massacre match. My apologies. Event is the word I was looking for. Sorry. Which I'm pretty sure you had something to do with that, didn't you, Nigel?
I don't know, man. I might have been there in some sort of capacity. I can't really remember too much of it, to be honest. It was a bit of a blur.
Fair enough. Hell
of a show.
How successful was it? If you don't mind me asking, is it something that's going to be repeated, or?
Well, there's talks, there's rumours. I mean, I like the name Massacre. It seemed to go over with the over-18s crowd. We don't have one of those in South Wales in the sense of an over-18 show. So, I think, it's definitely something that could carry on. Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel in the UK there's a need for over 18 show, or do you think it could also just get by with just standard wrestling matches?
I don't know. I mean, I go on tours with various wrestlers, as you're aware. Mm-hmm. We bring guys from the States over, so we get to see an awful lot of shows, and a lot of it's just the same. I mean, the guy's a professional, and there isn't a British wrestler or promoter that I don't particularly like, do you know what I mean? But a lot of the shows are very much the same, and you can only see the same stuff so much. So,
You think the over 18 gives the wrestlers that extra dimension to do something different?
Yeah. I mean, well, for instance, at our show there was a lot more cursing than there would be at other shows. So we weren't PG friendly at all. I wouldn't let my daughter watch what we put on Sunday. However, I would take my missus to see it. That's what I think is the difference. So,
speaking of your show, one of the things that we've been noticing on Twitter is there's a lot of positive reaction to your main event of the Hunter Brothers versus Mark Andrews and Juventud. How do you feel they performed for you?
Hoovy was amazing. Mark always delivers. I mean, there's not much that Mark can't do. The Hunters also top talent, but Hoovy definitely. I mean, considering he's one of the older guys, he's a veteran, if you like, and he's done it all. He's been everywhere. He's still able to pull it out the bag and perform to an over 18s crowd. He did a massive tribute to Eddie Guerrero, which really shocked me because I didn't expect it to happen. And the whole sort of venue erupted with Eddie chant, which was just phenomenal. So
I bet if Mr. Dennis hadn't noticed that, I bet he was peaking like mad backstage. But yeah, obviously there's something that we'd like to only touch on briefly because I know it's a bit raw. Is the other side of on Twitter is one of the guys who was advertised initially in that match was Sean Waltman, and I know he recently came down with an injury, and you've had a lot of issues as a result. Can you talk us through that, dude?
I mean, Sean, I got a lot of love for Sean because he obviously has worked with us in the past, and we did a meet and greet with him back in, I think it was March, and he's a phenomenal guy. He's really nice. Nothing negative to say about him aside of what's gone on Twitter. I've really got nothing bad I can say about him. It's just come down to the fact that he was supposed to do so much, and there was a lot more going on than was expected, and he became injured, and to be honest, we just couldn't renegotiate anything to suit what was going on. It was just, breakdown in communication, and that was that. And sadly, he got pulled from the show. It wasn't our decision to pull him, but he did get pulled.
Fair enough. I've seen a lot of things on there where he has been pretty much personally targeting you for it, hasn't he? Which is a shame, especially when I know that you've said as well that it was someone else that had actually cancelled his booking and whatnot, and you seem to be taking quite a lot of flack for it.
Yeah, I got big shoulders. I'm easygoing. I wasn't, to be honest, towards the end of the whole situation, I wasn't involved in the booking either, which is quite a funny situation, really. But it is what it is. It's part and parcel of the game, I suppose. You if you can't put it together, so it's just got to go. Unfortunately, everyone's got to benefit from the deal, and there was no sort of benefit. So there's no. Again, but
so there's no animosity on your side, say, to the wrestling fed that dropped him.
No, I got no negativity towards anybody. To be honest, life's too short for it. I'd rather just sort of wake up tomorrow and move on with my life.
Fair enough. One of the things I'd like to mention, obviously, you've just said about he came over and was very happy with you before, which is obviously evident by the fact that he'd agreed to do another show with you. One of the things that I'd like to throw out, obviously, you did us a solid. You arranged for us to be able to go down and interview him for our YouTube channel, which was a big help and stuff, and he struck me as a very nice guy and everything, so I am surprised to see him posting the sort of things that he's posted on Twitter about you. It's just disappointing all round to see that it happened to be aired publicly instead of a private conversation.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't involved in the deal directly. That's one of the saddest parts about it. But like I said, it is what it is. I mean, the guy's allowed to be angry that he wasn't on the show. It's just a shame he doesn't see why. He doesn't get the angle that there was nothing personal in it. I've got nothing personal against X-Pac John Waltman. It's just purely the case that it wasn't beneficial to do his appearance. It just wasn't beneficial to have him there.
Fair enough. So just to cut it clear, if it was offered to you tomorrow, you'd be quite happy to work with Sean Waltman again?
Yeah, I'd have Sean Waltman. I'd have X-Pac anytime. Absolutely anytime. So long as the deal was right and the money was right, because at the end of the day, it's got to be beneficial.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, dude. We're going to move on to our next guest shortly, and greatly appreciated, and we'll hopefully catch you soon.
Catch you again for another episode, hopefully. Right, welcome back. We just spoke to Nigel from Exposure Entertainment, and now we are joined by T-Bone, PCW's longest reigning tag team champion with
Rampage Brown Team Single.
Longest reigning tag team champion. Realistically, longest reigning heavyweight champion as well. If they actually were going to mention that.
There's that too, yes.
That as well.
We were going to I was letting Dave handle it. And he missed that
bit of paperwork.
For shame, David.
My apologies.
Yeah, how's it going then, Bone?
Not too bad, thank you. Yourselves?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. First thing I wanted to mention to you is obviously you're a big name in Preston, and PCW have got the Supercard of Honour 2 coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and how do you figure into that?
Painfully, I think. Night one, I think night one's the only match I actually know what I'm doing so far, and that's a no disqualification match with Red Dragon. Fun times.
Wow, you just one of the things that we'd like to kind of convey across to our listeners is how would you train for a match of that sort of level?
Good question. Prepare yourself for every chair shot under the sun to the head. As regards to actual
but very much like muscle memory then. So your mind might forget, but your body still knows what, in theory, it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So no matter how exhausted you are, you can still be at that level.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We've been fortunate to see you quite a few times for Hope Wrestling in the Mansfield area, and we've also seen you a couple of times at Preston. What's the difference between working the two types of companies?
What's the difference?
We can cut it if you want, man.
Really, I think from my point of view, I don't see. I don't know. Everyone tries to put things on a different pedestal, which to me isn't the case at all. To me, every company is exactly the same. Every company is a job. Every company is work. It shouldn't be regarded as a different pedestal or bigger, better, etc., etc. I think everybody that you get to work on Hope is of exceptional talent. I think everybody you get to work on Preston is the same. So to me, it's not different. The only thing that would be primarily different for me is on Hope I get to be the good guy somehow, and then on Preston I'm the bad guy.
Fair enough.
Which role do you prefer?
I absolutely hate being a goodie. I cannot stand people. I play the person that just stays in the corner. I can't stand any wrestler. Well, realistically, I've probably got like a handful of wrestlers I actually like, and not many more in actual real life that I actually like as well. I just like to be left alone, and I don't want for people to cheer me. I don't want for people to like me, which is why I find it so hard being a goodie.
Fair enough.
Can we ask you what's been your favourite match that you've had this year, and where was it at, and who it was against?
This year? Good question. No idea. Oh, actually, yes, I can. On a holiday camp, actually, against Charlie Garrett. It was one of those ones where things where everything just seemed to come together, and it just was fun.
Yeah.
You came back afterwards, and you just felt like you'd worked your ass off, but you'd achieved everything you could possibly achieve from it without killing each other.
Too many concussions.
You've virtually wrestled everyone on the British wrestling scene, and quite a lot of the big import names that have come over as well. You've competed against as well. What do you prefer wrestling, the British guys or the American names?
The names.
Depends who they are. From say import-wise, if it's like an import that I've had a lot to deal with before, where you'd almost consider them someone that you're not close with, you almost have like a bond with, sort of thing. I don't mind wrestling them because you're aware of each other and you know more than what they're prepared to do with you, rather than just be more out for themselves. As regards to British guys, that all depends again who they are. If you gave me Madman Manson, I'd pick him every day of the week because he's my friend. If you gave me Chris Travis, I'd pick him every day of the week because he's my friend. If you gave me X, Y, or Z that isn't really my friend, I'd probably say it doesn't make a difference to me.
Fair enough.
What have you got lined up in the future? Any upcoming dates for competitions at all?
Every week I pretty much have 3 or 4 a weekend, so I could list the whole team, but it could be a while. Who have I got this week? I've got Future Shock this weekend. I'll try and just limit it to the companies that I work regularly for. This weekend is Future Shock, and then there's 2 smaller companies. Weekend after is Target, Climax, and somebody else I can't remember. That's going to be really good if they're listening to this. Weekend I think. No, GPW's 2 weeks after. Then there's the Super Show of Honor weekend, which is the 4 shows. Then there is GPW the week after, Infinite, and Pro EV, I believe. The weekend after that is Elite and I can't remember now because that's the middle of December.
That's fair.
I'm not sure what diary is to tell you the rest.
It's fair.
So if people are looking forward to see T-Bone in a match, they can catch you pretty much somewhere in the country then.
Yeah, definitely. Sadly for them, yeah.
Oh, I spoke to you a while back, and you'd mentioned that you were. We talked about how you'd had a WWE tryout at one point.
Yeah.
Is that something that's still on your radar?
I have a feeling now age may be against me.
If not TNA, would you consider working with one of their other promotions like TNA or Global Force?
Yeah, I'm very much sort of the person who would say never to anything. If there was an opportunity that came around, then yeah, I'd definitely seriously think of course. I'd be stupid not to. I think that's at the end of the day the aspiration of you get into this job with aspirations of wanting to go to one of the bigger companies like WWE or TNA or somebody or Global Force now that is there. Otherwise, if that's not your goal, then initially when you get into it, I understand when you get to a certain age, it becomes not a possibility that it then almost becomes a hobby rather than work again. But while you're in a working stage of it, I don't think you'd ever want to do this job and not aspire to want to go to there or New Japan or Noah or somewhere like that as well.
Very good.
Is there anyone on the independent scene that you've worked with that you could see as being the next big name? In WWE or in general in wrestling, the next
breakout star, should we say,
for British wrestling?
Yeah, I think Charlie Garrett has all the potentials to be something special as long as he can keep his head screwed on and not let things get to him. I think he has every possibility of getting to wherever he wants to. I think he's got all the athletic abilities in the right places. He's got a better look than 90% of British wrestling. He's completely natural. He has got I just want to learn attitude. He does get frustrated and angry when things don't go right. He strives to learn after every single match. I think someone like him would be someone who could go places.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, it's been awesome talking to you, man. Thanks for joining us. I know your time's precious, so we'll leave you there. And thanks, man.
No problem.